Welcome back. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the world of SEO, specifically for small businesses in Australia.
Okay.
You shared a blog post from Now Technology Systems, an Aussie web design company. It's titled, Winning the SEO Race. Is content truly necessary?
Right.
And you're right. It raises a really interesting question.
Yeah.
With everyone saying content is king, is that really all it takes to win at SEO Down Under?
You've clearly been doing some research on SEO, so let's see how this source adds to your understanding. The blog post makes a great point about the content craze we're seeing. It feels like every business is churning out blog posts, videos, you name it.
Right.
But as the source highlights, content alone is not enough. You need more than just a boat. You need to know how to navigate, too.
That's a great analogy. So, what are some of the essential navigation tools for SEO success, according to the source?
Well, they emphasize the importance of technical SEO, and I think this is where many businesses, especially smaller ones, might stumble. It's about making sure Google can easily understand and crawl through your website. Think of it like building a house if the foundation is shaky. It doesn't matter how beautifully you decorate it, the whole structure is compromised.
So more than just a pretty facade, what specific technical aspects do they highlight?
They mention site speed, which is crucial. But I think it's worth diving a little deeper into the nuances of core web vitals here. These are specific metrics that Google uses to assess user experience, and they have a significant impact on your search ranking, especially in Australia. Things like largest contentful paint, first input delay, and cumulative layout shift can make or break your website's performance.
I see. So we're talking about how quickly the main content of the page loads, how responsive the site is to user interaction, and how much the layout shifts around while the page is loading. Those sound pretty technical.
They are. But thankfully, there are tools that can help you analyze and improve these metrics. And trust me, optimizing your core web vitals is an investment that will pay off in the long run. A fast, responsive website is going to keep visitors happy and engaged, which signals to Google that your site is worth ranking higher.
Okay, so technical SEO is about creating a solid foundation. What else did the source highlight as a key player in the SEO game?
They dove into on-page SEO, which, as the name suggests, is all about optimizing each individual page on your website. While content is a part of this, on-page SEO goes beyond just writing great blog posts.
Okay.
It's about strategically using keywords, crafting compelling title tags and meta descriptions, optimizing your images, and even structuring your URLs in a way that's both user-friendly and search engine-friendly.
So many different elements to consider. The source mentioned keywords being important, but not to overdo it.
Right.
They specifically said Aussies prefer things to be straightforward.
Yes, and this really resonated with me. Keyword snuffing. Cramming as many keywords as possible into your content is a big no-no. It makes your content sound unnatural and clunky, which is the opposite of what you want. Right. Instead, focus on using keywords naturally and organically within your content. Think about the language your target audience is using and incorporate those keywords in a way that feels conversational and authentic.
That makes sense. It's about speaking the same language as your audience, both literally and figuratively.
Exactly. And speaking of catering to Aussie preferences, the source also had some fascinating insights on local SEO.
Now, that's something I'm really curious about. The source mentioned Australians love supporting local businesses. How does that tie into SEO?
It's all about making sure your business is visible in local search results. Think about it. If someone in Sydney is searching for best coffee shop, you want to make sure your cafe pops up at the top of those results.
Makes sense. But how do you actually achieve that? Is it just about having the word Sydney on your website a bunch of times?
That's a common misconception. But it's not that simple. The source emphasizes the importance of having a complete and accurate Google My Business profile.
Great.
This is like your digital storefront. It tells Google everything it needs to know about your business, from your address and phone number to your opening hours and customer reviews.
So if someone searches for best coffee near me, Google can connect the dots and show them cafes that are actually close by.
Exactly. And the source stresses the importance of NAP consistency. That's name, address, and phone number across all platforms. Imagine the frustration if someone finds your cafe on Google Maps, but the address is different from what's listed on your website.
Right.
That inconsistency not only confuses potential customers, it also sends a red flag to Google, potentially hurting your local search ranking.
I see. It's like sending mixed signals. So Google My Business is key, and consistency is king. What else is crucial for conquering the Australian SEO landscape?
The source also highlighted the power of backlinks. These are links from other websites back to yours. And they're incredibly valuable for building credibility and authority in the eyes of Google.
Cool.
Think of it like word-of-mouth marketing. When other reputable websites link to your content, it's like they're vouching for your expertise and trustworthiness.
Okay, so it's not just about how many links you have, but the quality of those links.
Precisely. One high-quality backlink from a trusted website in your industry is worth far more than a dozen spammy links from irrelevant or low-authority sites. The source actually had a really interesting suggestion for Australian businesses.
Yeah, I'm all ears.
They recommend forging relationships with other reputable local businesses
Right.
to create link-building opportunities. This could involve guest blogging, collaborating on content, or simply mentioning each other's businesses in relevant articles or blog posts. It's a win-win situation. You both get valuable backlinks, and you build stronger connections within your local community.
That's a really smart strategy, especially for small businesses trying to establish themselves in a competitive market. It's like building a network of support while also boosting your SEO.
Exactly. And it taps into that Aussie spirit of collaboration and community, which is something the source emphasized throughout the most.
Okay, so we've covered technical SEO, on-page SEO, local SEO, and backlinks. We've built the house, decorated it beautifully, put up a sign out front, and invited the neighbors over. But we still haven't talked about the actual content that goes inside that house.
Right. Let's not forget about the content. While it's not the only thing that matters for SEO success, it still plays a crucial role.
Absolutely. So if content isn't king, what exactly is its role in this whole SEO kingdom? The source gave us some clues, right?
They did. And this is where we move beyond the basic content is king mantra and delve into a more nuanced understanding of how content contributes to your overall SEO strategy.
Okay, I'm ready to get nuanced. Let's unpack this.
The source breaks down content's role into three key aspects: engagement, keywords, and that Aussie touch, local lingo.
Okay, so engagement. I'm guessing this is about keeping people on your website longer, right?
Exactly. Think of it this way. You spend all this time optimizing your website, crafting compelling content, building backlinks. But what happens if people land on your site and bounce right back to Google? That sends a pretty clear signal that your site isn't providing what they're looking for.
Kind of like showing up to a party, taking one look around, and deciding to head home.
Precisely. And Google pays attention to those bounce rates. If people are leaving your site quickly, it's going to assume your content isn't relevant or engaging, which can negatively impact your search ranking. On the flip side, if people are sticking around, reading multiple pages, watching videos, or exploring your products, that signals to Google that your site is offering something valuable and worth ranking higher.
So engaging content is like the good party host that keeps everyone entertained and coming back for more. I'm liking these analogies.
They really help to paint a clear picture, don't they? Now, the source also mentioned keywords, but with a specific Aussie twist.
Okay, I remember them saying something about using Australian-specific language and spelling, but is that really that important?
It might seem like a small detail, but it can actually make a big difference. For example, using color instead of color, or incorporating Aussie slang terms into your content can help you connect with local audiences on a deeper level. It shows that you understand their culture and their language, which builds trust and makes them more likely to engage with your brand.
That's fascinating. So it's not just about targeting the right keywords, but also about using those keywords in a way that resonates with your specific audience.
Exactly. It's about tailoring your language and your content to the unique nuances of the Australian market. And this brings us to that third element the source highlighted, local lingo.
Now, this is where things get really interesting. I'm curious. How does weaving in Aussie slang and cultural references actually benefit SEO? Some might argue that it could be exclusionary to newcomers.
That's a great question. And it highlights the importance of striking a balance. While using local lingo can be incredibly effective for connecting with Aussie audiences and signaling your understanding of the local market, it's important to do so in a way that's inclusive and doesn't alienate those who might not be familiar with those terms.
So it's about using it strategically and authentically, not just throwing in a bunch of mate and g'day for the sake of it.
Exactly. Think of it like adding a dash of spice to your content. A well-placed Aussie slang term or cultural reference can add flavor and personality, but too much can overwhelm the dish.
I see what you mean. It's about finding that sweet spot. Have you seen any examples of Aussie brands using local lingo effectively in their marketing?
Absolutely. One brand that comes to mind is Bundaberg Rum. They've done a fantastic job of incorporating Aussie humor and slang into their advertising campaigns, creating a strong brand identity that resonates with their target audience. They even use the tagline, "Made by mates for mates," which perfectly captures that Aussie spirit of camaraderie.
That's a great example. It's clear they understand their audience and are speaking their language. So to sum up it sounds like content plays a multifaceted role in SEO. It's about engaging your audience, using relevant keywords strategically, and adding that Aussie touch to connect with local customers.
Precisely, and the source makes a great point about how all these elements, technical SEO, on-page SEO, local SEO, backlinks, and content, need to work together harmoniously, like a well-coordinated team.
It's a team effort. And like any successful team, it needs a good coach, someone who can analyze the data, identify areas for improvement, and make strategic adjustments. The source mentioned data analysis as being key, but I'll admit, it doesn't sound as exciting as crafting catchy headlines or writing witty blog posts.
I understand where you're coming from. Data analysis might sound dry, but trust me, it's where the real insights lie. It's like having a behind-the-scenes look at how people are interacting with your website. You can see which pages are performing well, where people are dropping off, and what keywords are driving traffic to your site. This data can be incredibly valuable for refining your SEO strategy and making data-driven decisions.
Okay, so instead of just guessing what might work, we can use data to inform our decisions and make more targeted improvements.
Exactly. For example, let's say you notice that a blog post about the best beaches in Sydney is driving a lot of traffic to your website. That tells you that people are interested in that topic. And you can use that insight to create more content around Sydney beaches. Perhaps even targeting specific keywords like best family beaches in Sydney or hidden beaches near Sydney.
That makes so much sense. It's like following the breadcrumbs to see what's resonating with your audience and then giving them more of what they want.
Precisely. And the beauty of data analysis is that it allows you to track your progress over time. You can see how your SEO efforts are impacting your website traffic, your search ranking, and ultimately your business goals.
So data analysis is like having a compass that helps you navigate the ever-changing landscape of SEO.
That's a great way to put it. And just like a compass, it can point you in the right direction, but you still need to know how to read it and interpret the data.
That makes sense. So what are some tools or resources that can help us mere mortals make sense of all this data?
Well, the source doesn't go into a ton of detail on this, but they do touch on the importance of data analysis. And thankfully, there are some fantastic tools available, many of which are free. Google Analytics is a great place to start. It's a powerful platform that provides a wealth of information about your website traffic, user behavior, and search engine performance.
Okay, Google Analytics. Noted. Anything else we should be aware of when it comes to data analysis?
One of the biggest mistakes I see businesses making is not setting up clear goals and tracking the right metrics. Before you even dive into the data, it's crucial to define what you're trying to achieve with your SEO efforts. Do you want increased website traffic, boost online sales, generate more leads? Once you know your goals, you can identify the key metrics that will help you track your progress.
So it's about having a clear destination in mind before you start navigating.
Exactly. Otherwise, you risk getting lost in a sea of data without any direction. And speaking of navigating the ever-changing waters of SEO...
I have a feeling you're about to tell me that SEO is not a set it and forget it kind of thing.
You're absolutely right. The digital landscape is constantly evolving. Google's algorithms are always updating, and user behavior is never static. This means that your SEO strategy needs to be adaptable and responsive to these changes.
So how do we stay ahead of the curve? Are we talking endless hours of Googling and reading SEO blogs?
Well, staying informed is definitely important. There's a wealth of knowledge available online, and industry blogs, podcasts like this one, and SEO forums can be great resources for keeping up with the latest trends and best practices. But remember, SEO is not a one-size-fits-all approach. What works for one website might not work for another.
So we need to be adaptable and willing to experiment.
Exactly. It's all about finding what works best for your specific website, your target audience, and your business goals. The source emphasizes this by comparing SEO to Lake Macquarie, always changing and adapting. Just like you wouldn't use the same sailing techniques in calm waters as you would in rough seas, you need to adjust your SEO strategies based on the current digital landscape.
That's a great analogy. It emphasizes the importance of being flexible and responsive. So if we're constantly adjusting our sails, so to speak, how do we know if we're heading in the right direction?
That's where data analysis comes in again. It's a continuous feedback loop. You implement changes, track the data, analyze the results, and make adjustments as needed. It's all about testing, iterating, and refining your strategies over time.
It sounds like a lot of work.
It can be. especially if you're trying to do it all yourself. And that's why many businesses choose to partner with experienced SEO professionals.
Okay, I was wondering when we were going to get to this.
Yeah,
so
sure.
when does it make sense to bring in the SEO cavalry?
Partnering with an SEO expert can be a game changer, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed or don't have the time or resources to manage your SEO in-house. They can bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to the table, helping you develop a customized strategy, implement technical optimizations, create engaging content, build quality backlinks, and track your progress using data-driven insights.
That sounds incredibly valuable. But I'm guessing there are some potential downsides to consider as well.
You're right.
There are definitely some things to watch out for.
Yeah.
Like any industry, there are good SEO professionals and, well, not so good ones.
Right.
How do we avoid falling prey to those snake oil salesmen you mentioned earlier?
Yeah. It's all about doing your due diligence, first and foremost. Look for transparency. A reputable SEO professional will be upfront about their methods and willing to answer your questions in a way that you understand. No smoke and mirrors, no vague promises of overnight success.
So clear communication and realistic expectations are key.
Absolutely. You should also ask for case studies, testimonials, and examples of their previous work.
Right.
Don't be afraid to dig deeper and ask about their specific strategies and how they measure success. A good SEO expert will be able to articulate their approach and demonstrate their track record.
It's like interviewing a potential employee. You want to make sure they're a good fit for your company culture.
Yeah.
And can deliver on their promises.
Exactly. And speaking of fit, it's also important to consider the SEO professional's experience with the Australian market. SEO isn't a one-size-fits-all approach, and what works in other countries might not be as effective in Australia. You want someone who understands the nuances of the local market, the search behavior of Aussie consumers, and the specific challenges and opportunities that businesses face down under.
That makes perfect sense. You wouldn't hire a chef who specializes in French cuisine to run an Italian restaurant, would you?
Exactly. So look for an SEO professional who has a proven track record of success with Australian businesses. And don't be shy about asking for references. Talking to other businesses who have worked with this SEO professional can give you valuable insights into their approach, their communication style, and their overall results.
Solid advice. It's all about finding a partner you can trust to guide you through the complexities of SEO and help you achieve your business goals.
Precisely. And remember, SEO is a journey, not a destination. It's an ongoing process that requires continuous monitoring, analysis, and adjustment. A good SEO partner will be there to support you every step of the way, helping you navigate the ever-changing landscape of search and stay ahead of the curve.
This has been such an insightful deep dive. I feel like we've gone beyond the basic content is king mantra and really explored the multifaceted world of SEO, especially for the Australian market.
I agree. We've covered a lot of ground, from the technical foundations of SEO to the importance of data analysis and the strategic use of local lingo. And we've highlighted the value of partnering with experienced SEO professionals while emphasizing the importance of doing your due diligence to find the right fit.
And through it all, we've used analogies and real-world examples to make these concepts more relatable and understandable.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, SEO is about connecting with people, making it easier for them to find the information, products, or services they need.
And doing that in a way that feels authentic, engaging, and relevant to their specific needs and interests.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought to ponder. We've talked a lot about strategy and tactics, but don't forget the importance of creativity and innovation.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
SEO is constantly evolving, which means there's always room for new ideas and approaches. Don't be afraid to experiment, to think outside the box, and to find unique ways to stand out from the crowd. This is especially important in a competitive market like Australia, where businesses need to find creative ways to differentiate themselves and capture the attention of their target audience.
So it's not just about following the rules, but also about finding those creative sparks that can ignite your SEO strategy.
Exactly. Think about how you can leverage those unique Aussie elements, the humor, the slang, the laid-back attitude, to create a brand identity and a content strategy that truly resonates with your target audience.
That's a great challenge to leave our listener with. How can they infuse their SEO strategy with that Aussie spirit and personality?
Exactly. It's about finding that sweet spot between strategy and creativity, data analysis and human connection.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today. I feel like we've all gained a deeper understanding of SEO and how to apply those principles to the unique landscape of the Australian market.
It's been a pleasure. And remember, SEO is a journey, not a destination. Keep learning, keep experimenting, and keep those creative juices flowing.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us. We hope you found this exploration of the Aussie SEO world informative and inspiring. Until next time, happy optimizing.